When adding clothing to a character that you've morphed to be much smaller in size, or starting with a smaller character like a baby, um, the clothing will often distort quite a bit when you're applying it. So you may want to do some extra steps to get a nicer clothing model. So I have a baby loaded in my scene here, and if I load the adult dress on the baby, you'll see it distorts kind of funny. Let me just add it to my character, and if I go in here, you can see it's crunched it up pretty badly here. Um, and so rather than just morph it with the character, what I'm going to do is basically reapply it as clothing, and that will help, smooth it out. Basically, I'll scale it separately. So with it selected, I'm going to come over here and in my modify panel, convert to accessory. And I'm going to say reset to the default shape and convert that. And you'll see it pops back to the original shape. And now what I want to do is go ahead and scale it. So press R on your keyboard or select the scale gizmo in your toolbar, and then just reduce it down to, more or less the right size for the baby, and move it into the location. I'm going to try and get that a little bit better applied to the baby here. So something like that. Don't worry if it's kind of, going through the skin a bit and whatnot, because we will fix that with the conform later. That looks like it made it a little too small. So I'm going to bring it back up just a touch so that the width looks correct on the shoulders. That's kind of my gauge here. And I think that's pretty good. Maybe a tiny bit more. So something like that. And then I'm going to try and get it so it kind of places nicely on the shoulders there where I would want it. I'll move it forward a little bit. So I'm basically just trying to get all placed there. And this is maybe a little longer than I want now as well. So you can also scale it on scale the height of it a little bit, and then bring that back up so the shoulders are in the right place. So I'm going to go with that, I think. I might be a tiny bit off. You can make it a tiny bit wider if you wanted, but I'm going to go with this, I think. Let's see if I can do a better job of aligning here. Let's try something like that for now. And then you can see it's more or less fitting, but not quite. It's passing through a lot because it's a somewhat different shape. But go ahead with that for now. And then with the dress selected, come over to the transfer weights in your modify panel and go ahead and do that and select the dress. Apply that. Okay, so now it's rigged. So now I'm going to close that, and I'm going to now go to the conform and go ahead and calculate the collision. And I'll do that a couple times, and you'll see it's now fitting the character pretty well. I have it bumped up a little too high on the shoulders, so I could place that a little better. So I might do some, additional adjustment. But now you see it's fitting the character much better. It doesn't have that distortion where it gets crunched up when you just morph it with the character. And so that's what I recommend doing if you need to significantly change the stature of your character, is go ahead and just redo the cloth so it is weighted better to the new character. All right, hope that's helpful.